to be found in Washington County, Indiana. Coleman is an associate of the boy's mother and was identified through a fingerprint. She pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and will serve 30 years.
Fox's Evan Brown, the boy's mother, who remains at large, is believed to be the killer. Police say she thought her son was possessed by a demon. The ousted leader of ChatGPT maker OpenAI is returning to the company that fired him just days ago. OpenAI says it's also bringing on a new board of directors, replacing the board that fired Sam Altman as CEO on Friday. A controversial new tax rule is put on hold. Again,
for a second year, the IRS is delaying a new rule on tax reporting, which targeted Americans who made more than $600 online for goods and services through apps like Venmo and PayPal. Those third-party payment apps will now be back to reporting only those who made more than $20,000 and 200 transactions on their platforms. The IRS says people who receive payments on online platforms such as Uber and Airbnb won't have to worry about new tax reporting rules for another year or two. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The change was intended to crack down on people evading taxes by not fully reporting gross income. But opponents say it amounts to government overreach that could hurt small businesses. An hour to the close on Wall Street, stocks remain higher before a holiday break. The Dow is up 174 points. The S&P up 17, the Nasdaq up 67. It's been a down day for oil prices, slipping back under $77 a barrel. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Buying gifts in this economy?
Forget about it.
Introducing the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. For your chance to win, register online at wsicnews.com/holiday. Kitchen essentials, tech toys, kids gifts, a mountain getaway, and much, much more.
Oh, yeah.
WSIC's 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Winners will be drawn each weekday morning on Good Morning LKN starting December 7th through December 22nd.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Still a chance of rain as we head through the remainder of the afternoon. 20% chance of total precipitation. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies with a high up near 60 degrees. Clouds will roll out as you head into the evening. We have mostly clear skies, but a cold low temperature tonight, dropping down to 34 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Welcome to the good, the bad, and the guilty. A look at what's happening with the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Now, here's your host, Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Everybody, I'm glad you're listening. Sheriff Darren Campbell here, along with Dow Hawkins, who is the captain of our Narcotics Division, and we got Major Troy Miller, who oversees our Criminal Investigations Division. And before I got started, this has got to be the fastest hour that we deal with in a week. But I think Joe had a special for us, but it must have not worked today.
Something didn't save correctly.
See, that's what happens when you try to mess around.
I tried. I tried doing something nice, and this is what happened.
Really? I figured he was going to have a turkey singing on the radio or something. So, but listen, everybody join in. Obviously, contact us or call us in. We'd love to hear from you about any subject or any comment you may want to make on the show or about anything. 704-873-1400. Tune in 100.7 FM or 105.9 FM. And obviously on Facebook, share us, like it, spread the word. We get a lot of views through the week. We get a lot of people talking about the show. And today, Dow, I'm just not paying you to sit over and look pretty. So we're going to talk about a little bit about how hard your investigation, as far as narcotics investigation, and such a nexus over to Troy and your criminal investigations, right, and why they tie together, and why a lot of it is accounting for our reduction in crime rates and things of that nature. So, Dow, I know y'all been busy. We have not done a press release, but I think today y'all end up taking about, cash money, about $85,000 in drug dealer proceeds today, about a kilogram of methamphetamine, and enough fentanyl to probably kill several thousand people just today.
Yeah. Like you alluded to, you've probably got the press release over there, so I'll just kind of summarize a little bit, and you can kind of fill in where it comes or where it's necessary. But so we did a search warrant this morning. I think the address was 1302 or 1320.
1320, I believe.
Yeah, 1320 Yadkin Street here in Statesville City.
And that sounds familiar. Well, I know where it is, but what is that close to?
So it's directly behind the school bus parking lot of MB Mills.
Okay. At an elementary school.
At an elementary school. It's within probably 100 feet of, maybe not even 100 feet of the school property. But we executed a search warrant this morning about 9:30. It all started about the 1st of October when we were able to develop some information and started making some undercover purchases from an individual here in Statesville. They weren't residents of the county, but they would come from where they lived. One lived in Charlotte, one lived in Winston.
And we don't want to write off citizens, too. Citizens reach out to us a lot through our app and give us information, which help us continue to build. Even though you may have been doing it, the citizens reaching out to us means a lot.
So the case that we were investigating prior to this one that led us to this actually came from a citizen complaint, and it originated on Douglas Street, which we've talked about prior to this show. We talked about on another show. It was a search warrant.
That's the search warrant that we was all out on the other week on a Friday.
Yep. So that search warrant actually led to this investigation. We were able to find out who the source was there. We introduced an undercover investigator. We started making multiple purchases of large amounts of crystal methamphetamine, ranging from, 4 ounces, or some people may understand it like a quarter pound, all the way up to half pounds of crystal meth. I think we did actually 5 undercover hand-to-hand purchases with 2 separate individuals. We were able to identify that the address on Yadkin Street was where they were, quote, staying. They may not stay there every night. They may just show up a couple of times throughout the week, but that was the central location or stash house, we feel, where they were maintaining and keeping their narcotics for distribution out into the city of Statesville and out into the county. So after the undercover purchases occurred, we applied for and received a search warrant. Like I said, we used the CERT team, a couple of the patrol guys, detective from CID from Troy's side. They come out and they helped us with it. We were able to locate about another 1.5 pounds, maybe just a little bit over 1.5 pounds inside the house, some other drugs, fentanyl, ecstasy, marijuana, and $85,402 of U.S. currency, which is undoubtedly directly tied as drug proceeds and profits from the illegal activities that they were conducting. And while we were there, we were lucky enough to discover one of the cars that one of the suspects had used to deliver during one of the undercover purchases was actually at the property. So based on him using that car being paid for, having no liens against it, we seized that car. So in all today, for the entire investigation, it's just under 4 pounds of crystal meth.
Wow.
A car.
Unbelievable.
$85,000 in drug dealers' money.
And that whenever you see it, a lot of people say, well, Sheriff, all you hear about is drugs, drugs, drugs. And we'll talk when we come back a little bit at the break. But, Troy, that's how much it goes into reducing our crime rates. Because, this obviously originated inside the city, and the tentacles stretch out into the county. And we have done it. So we've seen the distribution levels come. So we've got to act on it. So the old saying everybody's heard, you cut the head off the snake, the rest of it quits moving. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And that's why, Troy, y'all's crime rates, yes, you've got the highest clearance rates. Right. But a 55% reduction in crime is because we're hard on the narcotics side, which has such a nexus to the other crimes, the break-ins, the violence, and everything of that nature.
Yeah, all these people out here breaking into homes or stealing, it all goes back to 99% of the time it's all tied into narcotics. And we see the same people that our narcotics division they deal with on a regular basis. They're all out here breaking into houses, breaking into cars, and a lot of it's for drug money. So.
When I seen some agencies like, well, let's not. I guess sometimes it's not good. It don't appear good to be arresting everybody. But I think we'll put our crime rates up against anybody's. I seen CMPD, or I'll say them. I actually seen the chief say, so when we start arresting for marijuana or something like that. It's a drug. It may be, some people think should be legalized, but it still leads into other things.
It's still illegal.
Well, years ago, and Sheriff, you were either in narcotics, and you may have even been captain at the time or major over CID, but there was a long time where the narcotics division and general investigations, for the lack of a better word, may not have mixed. There wasn't a lot of information sharing that was going on between those two separate entities at the sheriff's office. So one of the things that we're proud of now that we really started when you took office back in 2014 is we meet with the general CID guys on a regular basis. They come up to our shop or our office on a regular basis. We've actually even interchanged a couple of investigators, and they wanted this to happen, where an investigator, Detective Wyatt, who had been in CID for a number of years, and Detective Vargas, who had been in narcotics for a number of years, they didn't switch, but it just kind of happened that they took Detective Vargas, we took Detective Wyatt, and what Vargas has brought to General CID, what Wyatt has brought up to narcotics, has been invaluable. And we can't, we'd be amiss not to say that, Major Miller spent time not only in general investigations, but he spent, how long?
He's our very first diversion officer.
Yeah. But a year and a half, 2 years in narcotics?
Yeah, I spent about 5 years in CID, and then I came over to narcotics in 2019. Spent a couple years over there doing the drug diversion.
Yeah, and then he goes back, and now he's major over investigations, which we fall over. So he can speak to a lot of the things that we do, because just like you, he has seen it on a regular basis.
Well, and we like to refer, and I don't know if anybody's got, it's hybrid investigations.
It is.
Because we understand the criminal side deals a lot with our narcotics. People stealing's one breaking in to support their drug habits. So we will come back. I want to talk about a little bit about the fentanyl, the U.S. currency, why we use it. So we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Talk our break. Remember, if you need us, call in 704-873-1400 or comment on Facebook. Be glad to hear from you.
More of The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell. Coming up on the new 1059.
On there? Hey, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're on a break, but I want to let you know that we got your call. But we'll be ready. Would you like to hold on or go ahead?
Yeah, I can hold on.
All right, buddy. Well, I think our break is about two and a half minutes, and we'll come right back to you. Thank you for calling, though.
Do you want to hear it? What we had made?
Yeah.
Hey. This is what was supposed to play. I fixed it now, so it will play next week. But this is what was supposed to play.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you?
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Facebook, correct?
Put your mic's back on, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think somebody sent me a text so we can hear you, so it's always good.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of times, we can do the show, but we're so, I don't know, 1 minute till we come back, and we will have a caller when we come back, but you guys are doing good, and, I like people to listen sort of behind the show when we can, sort of something new we've tried. But, Dow, I really want to get into the amount of fentanyl that just in the recovery of this, we hear a lot about it and how much it's actually here, and I worry a lot about, or we all worry about, kids getting it, not knowing what to take, and just the amount of, just in this one place. I mean, I don't want to say the number because you work for it. I want you to say it, but it's unbelievable what it would have done. And you think
death by distribution.
Death by distribution. We got those cases, and you can talk a little bit about that. But you think about the U.S. currency, 30 seconds, drug dealers' money. If you take it and just do the math, let's just real quick numbers. The population of states. Well, that's basically like saying every person contributed $3 to this drug dealer. When you're taking around the $85,000 in cash. And I know the number's not exactly right, but it's amazing what hard and good investigations will do.
It's the long term ones are the hardest ones, but they're the best ones.
You've always known me. I'd much rather have quality over quantity any day, and it makes more of an impact.
Makes her off.
Guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
we need to have more. If they could see y'all in here. Now, we did it. If anybody's on, Joe, I think just Facebook was able to listen to us while we was off air, right?
Yeah, just Facebook.
So, if y'all need more cameras, see. Now, Troy, I will say that music really matched you.
Oh, yeah?
More than it matches me.
Oh, well, thanks, I guess.
It's a compliment. So, hey, I believe we did, and Dad, we'll get back to I think we had a caller. We'll put them on real quick. Hello, caller. You're on live with Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Good afternoon, Lawman. This is William here. How are y'all?
Hey, good. William, doing fine. Good to hear from you.
Listen, with the recent incident that took place up in Buffalo, New York this afternoon, how quick the authorities addressed that situation, we don't know all the details yet. We're just learning as we go. But I just wanted to touch on that. Local law enforcement, like you, Darren, Sheriff, and just everybody, I feel protected. I'll speak for myself. I feel protected, and I feel thankful, and I'm thankful for you guys.
Well, buddy, we appreciate it. And listen, we're thankful for you, and we're really thankful for the community that supports us in a whole. And, just the fact that you take the time to call in means a lot. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Hope you have a great holiday season. Turkey Day is good to you, and thanks for calling.
Thank you as well. I hope you and your family have one as well, too, Darren. I appreciate it, and we'll be continuing to support you and backing you just like you back us.
Hey, thank you. We really do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. I'm not just saying that.
And it's really I've been here for 25 years, and it's just working for an agency where you get so much support from the community is just, it means a lot.
It does, and see, that's another reason you've been here 25. You still got 10 more.
Yeah, okay, right? Okay.
Dow, go in, or I'm sorry, Captain Hawkins.
No,
like Dow, I like Dow, Darren, Troy. No, a little bit of investigation. First of all, how impactful it's going to be when we see drugs distributed throughout the county and other counties. But I really want you to hit on the fentanyl amounts.
All right,
just in this seizure.
So, the impact that I think that we've had as an agency since July has been just unmeasurable. I mean, to be honest with you, because, we did another investigation prior to this one where there was, a lot of narcotics seized, crystal meth taken. And then this one as well. I'd be amiss if I didn't mention that we were offered during the investigation the opportunity to purchase fentanyl pills from one of these individuals.
Which is probably press pills. We hear all the time talking about the border, press pills.
It appeared to be either press pills, or we're starting to see now the capsule infused, pills with just a small amount of fentanyl and whatever else in it to kind of do the same thing. It's a little easier to do. You don't have to have a pill press. You can just get the pill cylinders, put a little in there, put them together, like a Tylenol gel cap.
Now, let me ask you, if you had a child and somebody that did want to cause problem in school, or somebody just didn't know, could you take that apart and spread it out?
Oh, easily. And here's the thing people have to understand. So by math, by what the DEA recommends, okay? So if you look at it online, this is probably what it's going to say. So 2 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill one person, all right?
Which is about some grains of salt, right about it.
There's 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram, okay?
Yep.
So if anybody's really good with math, so 2 milligrams in 1 gram, and we seized today 16 grams by weight of pills. So ever how many pills totaled 16 grams, whether it was 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 pills, whatever it was. So you have to say that those contained enough of that substance to kill hundreds, if not thousands of people that would ingest that didn't know at that point in time what they were taking.
Wow. Well, I think we said it just today, just doing the math on us, and that's between me, you, and Bill all together working these numbers, and the internet come to be about 4,000 people.
Could be close to 4,000 people if 2 milligrams, if you're exposed directly to that,
And I make no bones. I think sometimes the philosophy is, and I see on the news, maybe it's some people say, well, if we don't arrest for it, if we don't investigate, then it's really not here. I take the absolute opposite approach, that if we do investigate and eradicate it, sends a message to the dope dealers, we're not going to allow it here.
Well, you talk about sending messages, general CID kind of cases and things like that, hybrid investigations, sending the message with the fentanyl especially. So, death by distribution. All overdose deaths used to be worked by general CID.
Yeah.
Okay, just the detective.
And
used
sort
to
of
work
explain now,
overdose.
when you say death by distribution, just so people understand, just a layman's terms, basically, is we show up to an overdose, and that's where y'all get involved.
So we kind of classify it as anyone who has died consuming a controlled substance that they were provided or sold that was not prescribed to them. Okay.
Yes.
So if someone accidentally overdoses on, say, OxyContin that they were prescribed, that's not death by distribution. But if we get called to an overdose and the patrol division goes out to the call, they call a detective, whether it's CID or whether it's us, we go out there and we know the person or we know the history or there's some suspicion that this may be a drug deal kind of gone bad.
Yeah.
That's where we will take over the investigation as a hybrid kind of thing, and do the research, try to pursue the drug dealer or the individual that provided that person with those narcotics, which ultimately led to the death.
Which sends a message. And Troy, I think you can come in. This actually, you as an original diversion, which
Right.
we were one of the very few in the state, and still one of the very few in the state that hasn't. And we seen this move coming with the fentanyl. I mean, this is 3 years ago. We got Detective Wyatt, who actually we put in. He's trained to handle these kind of cases.
He's one of the only, like Troy was.
Excuse me.
Detective Wyatt's one of the only one of only few certified pill diversion officers throughout the state on the local level. The majority of them, are kind of with the SBI do that, but there's not many that hold that certification throughout the state of North Carolina. He's one of them.
And that invitation's open to any local agents. If they just ask,
Yeah.
you have this experience there to help them with diversion cases.
Yes.
I'm sorry, death by distribution cases. And Troy, before you key up, I know that Dow went and had a meeting with the Attorney General after we had a show on here. Dow actually went down and had a face-to-face with the Attorney General, and in about 4 days, we have waited 2 years to get results because we have to have the toxicology to show what causes the death. In about 4 days, you had your results. So you're seeing these charges come now after this long wait. So I guess, Troy, since you've done that job, Dow, you key in and how that affects and deters this type of drug dealing, just another way.
So, yeah, when I took the drug diversion spot in late 2018, 2019, at that point, we were dealing mostly with prescription pills, people out here selling their prescription drugs, whether it be oxycodone, OxyContin, the opioids. As a result of the opioid epidemic, we were starting to see more people abuse those prescription drugs and sell them out here on the street for cash or whatever. And that's when we started seeing an increase in overdoses. Well, in response to that, we saw the laws get stricter for the prescription drugs, and it became harder for people to get those. So then they start turning to heroin. And then, with that, the fentanyl became easier to get. And these drug dealers are mixing the fentanyl in with heroin or pressing these pills. And it's all, as a result, it's just so easy to come into the country through the border.
You got another caller? Troy, if you want to welcome on, you're talking. I'll let you welcome on the caller on the line.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. How can we help you today?
Is the business office open today?
You talking about at the sheriff's office?
Not the sheriff's office, y'all's business office. I try to call and I can't get a hold of nobody.
It's probably you're calling for Joe and he's in there with us. If you'll try calling back or leave a message, they'll give you a call back.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, yeah, as a result of going back to what we were talking about, that with these stricter drug diversion laws and opioid laws, it made harder for these prescription drugs to be sold. So that's when we start seeing the increase of fentanyl. And now we're seeing more and more overdoses. And these death by distribution laws are passed also as a result, which, it's because of these overdoses and the fentanyl. And now we're able to charge some of these drug dealers for actually selling or providing the fentanyl to.
And that scares them to death. It's just a new way of being proactive versus reactive. I'm so glad Dow and Troy setting up this diversion, but now having somebody that's actually trained and certified to investigate those deaths. I mean, it's not just like going in there and guessing. So we're ahead of it. But believe me, the dope dealers that's thinking about see these arrests we're making, and it makes them, why am I going to go to Iredell when I can go to Catawba and not get? I'm not going to say not get prosecuted, but they do their research.
Well, the legislators have done a good thing, and one of the things that we discussed in the meeting that I had when I was down in Raleigh.
You better repeat that. We'll get so our legislators will make sure they've done a good thing.
Yeah. They've done a good thing with the way the law for death by distribution used to read is you had to sell them Okay, you had to prove sale.
Right.
You know, now I think it's I think in December,
Give whatever.
provide.
Yeah.
I think the terminology is now provide.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier to prove in today's world with cell phone records, social media
Absolutely.
records, you know, things of that nature. So we hope it's even more of a deterrent that just providing it to them, not selling it to them, is enough to get you charged and in a world of hurt.
When you're not to their own horn Farmers Association, that was a big thing with the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. Push this legislative change because there again, you've heard me say it's more the criminal justice system, not the victim justice system. But this is a lot of the victims who are the victims. Yes, they were buying drugs. Yes, they took the drugs. But there's a lot of family members that normally in the past would not have had even a, well, say so is not the right word, but we couldn't advocate for them. And you hate to say it, but now we can build a case. I mean, a gunshot, and we know what that is, that's an easy case to prove for the most part. But a death, to find out what is actually in somebody's system, when they sold it, what they sold them, and how they done it, and how it caused their death, is a lot different.
Before we go to break, I'll say something that you may know or you might not know, but at least it will make you happy to hear it.
Oh, that's good.
So last year, in 2022, we investigated 20 overdose deaths, okay? We charged one pretty quickly because we had enough to do it.
Gotcha.
The other two, we had to ultimately wait till this year to do it for some things with the ME's office and so on and so forth. We've only done 9 this year.
It's awesome.
So our death by and it goes right along with the aggressive stance on investigating the narcotics, crime rate reduction, and the overdose. So if you eradicate it, you don't have it, it's not available. So, hey, we'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. Remember, call us 704-873-1400 or send us a comment on Facebook.
There's more of the good, the bad, and the guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
It's here. Black Friday week is live at Target. Save up to 50% on select tech and video games. Plus, save up to 40% on select small appliances, up to 45% on floor care, and so much more. And get free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Hurry! These Black Friday deals end Saturday. Get low prices and great Black Friday deals. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Limitations apply.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Still a chance of rain as we head through the remainder of the afternoon. 20% chance of total precipitation. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies with a high up near 60 degrees. Clouds will roll out as you head into the evening. We have mostly clear skies, but a cold low temperature tonight, dropping down to 34 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Join your friends from Oswald Baptist Church in Troutman, Sunday mornings at 8:30 on WSIC. Be informed and inspired with teachings from the Word of God by Pastor Wesley Morris. Sunday mornings at 8:30 on WSIC.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive, whatever the season is. Randy Marion service departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com. The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty continues now. Here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell, 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. If your music's hey, I want to say appreciate the comments from Richard, Sissy, Annette. And we appreciate the comments. A happy Thanksgiving to you. Wishing everyone the best. And we'll hop right back into it, Dow. I know before we went to break, you were saying something. I can just tell you was itching to say something.
Oh.
That's the reason we need to discuss it on break.
Am I ever at a loss for words?
I can't believe it, but well, either way, you did get some updates on some of the bonds and some from this case. And like I said, we'll get it. Let them know they can read about it later. We're going to try to get it out as fast as we can. We get a lot of comments about it. You can go to the app and you can see pictures of these individuals along with bond amounts.
Yep. So we won't say any names. We won't give out too much information right off the bat. That way people can go online, our app or the Facebook page and look at it. But one of the bonds issued today on one of the offenders was $7.5 million.
Wow.
And the other bond was $3.2 million. Now you've got to understand this is not for like one offense. One of them had 5 counts of trafficking by possession, 4 counts of trafficking by sale, 4 counts of trafficking by transport, trafficking possession within 1,000 feet of a school, conspiracy. So there are multiple charges that these individuals have that more than justify this bond, along with their criminal history.
What did he say? They had a criminal. So
yeah, criminal history, firearms possession, stolen firearms.
So that
one
makes
was actually
them
on
a what?
Repeat career
career repeat offender.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And I think obviously those are high bonds amounts, but the judges also have to take into account not just the appearance in court or the guarantee that they'll show up in court, but it's also the type of crimes they're committing. I mean, you're selling something or possessing something to kill 4,000 people, sitting along with also $100 or $85,000 in bulk cash.
Yeah, and people have to understand when they hear, because I hear it all the time from just normal people all the way to people that are kind of in our profession. This money is seized to settle a bunch of things. It's because it's drug proceeds. There's actually taxes in the state of North Carolina from the Department of Revenue that says if you possess so much of a controlled substance, there are certain amounts that you have to pay in taxes. So with everything that they've had throughout this entire investigation, their entire tax bill was just over $110,000. Okay?
And we got $85,000 in cash. So what does that translate to?
Well, it translates into 75% of that drug dealer's money is going to be returned to the county,
which offsets
taxpayers' cost.
That's right. Because they got to stay in jail. I don't run a tab. We don't. Somebody needs to do that. We've got enforcement. I've got your time to pay for. We got cost to prosecute these people, and they need to pay. And obviously, that is drug dealers' proceeds.
I mean, we take that money for a lot of things. I mean, we buy cars with it. We put it back in special funds to buy drugs with it.
Drones. We use it for a bulletproof vest for
shields,
Bearcat. So it's a good use of drug dealers' money. And why in the world we're having to buy that stuff? Because they're the ones selling the drugs, creating the violence.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I hope, and that's sort of not the asset forfeiture that works in the same way, but I hope if Congressman McKinney, we had him on the radio last week, and I meant to ask him, Senator Ted Bud and Tillis, and anybody else that's listening, asset forfeiture, we do not go out here and take hardworking people's money. We don't do it. We have a minimum, but if you're driving down the interstate and you've got $200,000 wrapped up in $25,000 bundles with axle grease and pepper and a cellophane wrapper, and you don't know where you're going, we understand that we're going to seize those monies and we're going to use it to offset taxpayer, just a boat. So sort of a little bit what we got off, but we have to pay for these investigations. And I just so far, using asset forfeiture money and stuff, we do not use taxpayer dollars to conduct investigations, even though we have to reduce crime rates.
Right. It's a tool that if we lose, Okay, if law enforcement loses the forfeiture end of it.
And this is two different. One's asset forfeiture on federal bulk cash smuggling.
Yeah.
This case, because we found drugs with it, is a tax on the narcotics
True.
itself.
But even if we lose that, if we lose the ability of forfeiture, then looking at Joe, if Joe sells one of the undercover investigators drugs and Joe's car is paid for, he's using that vehicle to facilitate that particular crime. Why should he be allowed to keep it? Okay, if you're using a house to sell drugs out of or store large amounts of drugs inside of it, and the house has no lien on it, it's paid for, it's in your name, why should you be allowed to keep that? Same goes with a boat, airplane, moped, motorcycle. Why should you be allowed to keep it if you're caught, and here's the catch, convicted of that crime?
Convicted, that's right.
Convicted of that crime.
By a jury of your peers.
Yes, 100% by a jury of your peers.
It's kind of something to think about.
Yep.
So, Troy, I know we'll come back. This is our shortest segment, but I guess what he's saying, what does that translate into? I guess people look at us, how does this and that play into reduction of crime rates and making Iredell safer than any of the other big counties?
So, like, say this search warrant they did today at this house where they recover all these drugs and this cash, these drug dealers are selling to people here in our county, and a lot of their customers aren't what you would say would be upstanding, gainfully employed citizens, so they're having to get money to buy their drugs with from somewhere. So what we see a lot of is our larcenies and our break-ins and other crimes where things are getting stolen. A lot of it gets tied back to your criminals are out here trying to get money to buy their drugs with. So when you got our narcotics guys shutting down a drug dealer house like this and seizing drugs and money, that's cut, like you said earlier, cutting the head off the snake.
Mm-hmm.
And when people can't go buy their drugs, they're having to go elsewhere other than Iredell County or.
No, that's funny. I was just sitting there thinking, one of them guys the other day when was out at a house, and they said, "Well, I didn't know y'all could. This ain't the county. Was it obviously in the city? Yeah, the city lies within the county, so therefore we can do that. But I think the actual dealer that was out there dealing didn't think us, the sheriff's office, would follow him to the city to cut off the distribution of drugs inside up. Because we work for those citizens inside the city too, just
Absolutely.
as hard.
Well, what about the last case that we did, and we may have talked about it, we may not have. We just been so busy and the days run together, we don't know. We're just out 24/7, 365.
Really?
All the time. So the last one we did a conspiracy case where we arrested 11 individuals. The main source was actually inside the city of Statesville.
Is that the one from Rolling Lane?
The one from East Raleigh.
Okay, which I think is public housing, which I think we're following up on that now.
Yep. So the main source was, or one of the main sources was there. The other one is from over off of like Greenbrier area, Stokes. It's already been like publicized, so we can talk about it over off of Stokes Avenue. Yep. But if you look, and I may be correct, so don't everybody hold me to it, but of the other 9, only 1 I think resided in the city. That means the other 8 lived in the county. And when I say the county, I'm talking about from a mile from the Mecklenburg County line on 115 all the way up to Love Valley.
Yep.
Okay. So when one area is not a problem, but when that source is in one area, but yet it reaches out, how many miles is it from Langtree Road to the valley?
It's no different than a FedEx hub.
Yeah.
Here's where it's stored. Here's where it's distributed.
Yep.
And if we shut down the hub, you don't have the distribution.
Yeah.
If you don't have the distribution, you don't have the crime. If you don't have the crime, you don't have the high crime rates.
Yeah.
So it works well.
And these drug dealers, they don't care where the city limits stop or where the county begins. I mean, they're just trying to make their money. So.
Here's another update for you, and this will make you happy. I just got a text message a minute ago. We've just charged another death by distribution today. Okay, just a little bit ago. So Detective Wyatt was able to obtain warrants on an individual from, unfortunately, a 2022 case, but it took some time with toxicology in the ME's office and stuff. But he was just able to obtain those warrants for another individual.
That's good.
Well, hey, they'll get the message one way or the other. So Troy, do you definitely see when we arrest these people, the addicts, if we don't have the drug houses where they're able to go to, that we can actually we're having an impact?
And absolutely, and I think when you publicize these arrests and people see that, Iredell County don't play when it comes to selling drugs or dealing drugs here in the county. And when you publicize them, I think it's a huge deterrent, and I think you can see it in our reduction in our crime rates.
Absolutely.
And it's when you take a hard stance on crime and arrest these people and put them in jail, other people see that, and I saw it in narcotics. You heard these drug dealers say from other counties, "I'm not coming to Iredell County to sell drugs. I'm not doing it. I'm not coming over there."
He's heard an audio.
Yeah.
He's heard an audio of that a number of times.
Well, it's good, and social media. Sometimes I sort of, it looks like, hey, all we're doing is show. It looks like we're eating up drugs. We're really not. We're not. But I use that platform to send a message to these guys because I know they're watching. I know they see it. We hear. We had the break-ins in North End. We got hit about. This is several months ago. And knock on wood, we don't have the big groups breaking in houses. We had it happen, and most likely they were from out of Davidson County. We put it on Facebook with a description and a picture of a van. Never had another one.
Yeah.
Now I want to catch them, but it stopped.
And I'm sure you remember 20, 25 years ago, it wasn't nothing being out here working patrol. You would go to 2 or 3 break-ins a day at a house, and it's just you can definitely see that it's made a huge difference.
Listen, I work hard for what I've got, and I know everybody here works hard. And the last thing worth is a thief, drug dealer, or a sex offender.
Yeah.
And they by us being and we've also got very proactive in the community on Saturdays events. Listen to the community, the app to get us information to us.
Yeah.
For us to act on. Okay, we'll come back. We got another break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Remember, call 704-873-1400. Comment on Facebook. We'll see you back in about 3 minutes.
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Happy Thanksgiving. From all of us at WSIC, we hope everyone is able to spend some time with those that they love. Join the Cornelius Parks and Rec Department this Saturday for the 12th annual Light Up Cornelius, presented by Novant Health from 4 to 7 p.m. in downtown Cornelius. Festivities will include holiday songs, train rides, a sledding hill, food and craft vendors, and a visit from Santa. See you Saturday! Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? Speedway Christmas is back. Happening daily.
Hey, caller, can you hear me? Hey, caller, are you there? You're on with us. We're on break right now, but go ahead.
Yes, my name is Diane Austin. I just have a quick question for Sheriff Campbell. When they do break those drug houses,
yes,
what happens to those houses? Do they just demolish them, or what do they do with them?
I tell you what, that is a great question that nobody's asked. We've done a lot. It's nuisance abatement and other stuff, but I tell you what, we're on break. We should come back in about a minute and a half? About a minute. Do you have time to hold on? Because that'd be a great question. I'd love to bring you on the air.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, yes, ma'am. And what'd you say your name was?
Diane Austin.
Okay, I'll probably just call you Diane unless you mind, but Diane, we'll
That'll
come
be
back.
fine.
Okay, we'll come back in just about a minute and a half.
Okay,
Thank you.
Features songs from Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, Kenny Loggins, and more. The Docksiders, Saturday, December 9th at Kane Center for the Arts. To purchase your tickets, visit kanearts.org. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Still a chance of rain as we head through the remainder of the afternoon. 20% chance of total precipitation. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies with a high up near 60 degrees. Clouds will roll out as you head into the evening. We have mostly clear skies, but a cold low temperature tonight, dropping down to 34 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
We elves try to stick to the 4 main food groups: candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
Non-stop Christmas music on Thanksgiving Day.
Now more of the good, the bad, and the guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, we're back with the good, the bad, and the guilty. I believe we got a caller here on the line, so go ahead there. Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
Diane.
Diane.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Diane, go ahead with the question you had on break, and we'll see if we can't get that answered for you.
Okay, well, real first, Sheriff Campbell, we absolutely love you, and we thank you all, the whole county. You guys are doing a great job, and we feel safer, and just thank you so much. But my question is, I was listening, and I just wonder, what do you guys do when y'all actually have a drug bust that is a house? What do y'all do with that house?
That's a great question. Dow, you want to, since you do some of our stuff, you want to attach that first?
Yeah, so yes, ma'am. So there's a couple of things, if the home is paid for, if the individual that owns it lives there, that home is up for forfeiture. So we can seize that and kind of eliminate it that way. But the majority of the time, what we do is something called nuisance abatement. And we've done a handful of those over the past couple of years where if we get enough complaints.
And it's I got to say, it's a high bar, but we try. I mean, that's a state level to us level to work in those cases.
Yeah, if we have to have enough complaints. And these complaints can be anything. They can be drug-related, loud noise, assaults, domestic, stolen property, breaking and entering, whatever. So long as we have enough complaints to fit the bar that they're looking for, we can work with a state agency that works with the local district attorney's office, and we actually can do a nuisance abatement, which says this house is a nuisance to the community. You've basically lost your right to possess it, so the state will seize it. They will sell. They will force the owner to sell that home. Like if the owner's like, I'm not going to do it, tough luck. They'll force you to do it. We want them to cooperate and do it, but a lot of times they don't. They'll be forced to sell that home. They'll enter into an agreement during this process that says they can't return there during the time it's for sale. They can't live within a certain mileage of that location. They can't be, a part of that community for a certain amount of time. So we can we actually can do that. But the bar is, I don't want to say it's too high to reach, but it's an exceptionally high thing to try to.
Well, and I think that's a great. I mean, that'll send ultimately, Diane, that sends a message to some of the landowners and the people that says, well, you know what, we're going to sell it. We'll pay our bonds. We'll keep. In one of the cases we did on Troutman Shoals, I believe, we actually took a bulldozer and ran and demolished the whole residence, put up a sign, and I like to refer to it as a community enrichment project, because really you're getting the drug people out of the community, and that makes a believer the next person when we advertise it, they know it. But hey, that first thing you said, I really appreciate those words, but I'm not sure Dow heard it.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Sheriff Campbell, we love you.
There you go.
Everything you've done for us.
I want to add something on the end of that.
You can't say you love me too.
Not to that. and this is to
What's that?
I said I want to add something to the end of the home problems and stuff. And
thank you very much, Diane.
This is going to be directed to the landlords. Okay, and this happened today. So the individual that actually rented this home sublet it to the people that were staying there. Okay, so we're not going to be taking it from the people that were staying there. We're not going to be taking it from the person that first rented it from the original landlord. You as a landlord can have your property taken by simply allowing someone to continue the criminal activity there. So if we come to you, if we were to serve you notice, hey, let's say it's Troy. Troy's living in the sheriff's rental property, and we come to the sheriff and say, hey, look, Troy's a nuisance. He's a problem. You need to do something with him, or you're going to lose your house to a nuisance abatement. If we meet that high standard, it's no big deal to Troy because Troy is just a tenant there, but it's a big deal to the sheriff to lose his property.
First of all, I don't have any.
Yeah, I was going to say I would.
I wouldn't rent from you, but I wouldn't rent to you. But the point I think with that, it's a last resort. We don't want to do that. We don't like. I respect property rights, but it gets to be when it gets to where it affects our community, and it causes problems and deaths. We've got to do everything we can to shut them down by all means necessary. So,
absolutely.
Hey, great question.
Yes.
Hope you have a
Okay.
great Turkey Day, and call back anytime.
You too. You and your family. Y'all take care. Be safe.
Hey, thank you very much.
Bye bye.
That was
Very
that was a good question.
Yeah.
How we we always try to target the drug dealers and those that's supporting the business of it. And send a message. Hey, it's not going to be profitable or safe for you to deal drugs here and cause crime and violence and all that stuff.
It's just not.
Hey, y'all making a dent in it. Listen, I tell you, I'm proud. I know we said a lot, but you think out of the 12 largest counties, we're one of them. Y'all have half the crime, and y'all have created it. Listen, I told you, your people created it. Just get to put my name on the door. But, it's cool to be able to say that publicly that, hey, we're half the crime of the other 12 largest counties.
You and I fought about it a long time.
We did.
All right, we fought.
Go ahead and fess up while we're on the radio.
No, I'll fess up. We fought about it a long time. I was actually worried that I was going to get worked out of a job because when I come to work, it's to do what we're employed to do, and if we keep going at such a pace, you arrest so many people, you do so many cases. I'm worried. Hey, I'm going to work myself out of a job a little bit
because the dealers ain't here.
I'm more than happy to show up every day and not do a case.
Well,
more than happy.
But look at the cases we are still having impact. We're past the little piddly cases, and I shouldn't say piddly, but small. We hear, hey, there's a little drug house here. We've done great on that. Now you're into the big organization side. At least some of it.
We'd be amiss. We were up off of Moeller Lane, up off of 115.
There you go.
Up off of 115 yesterday. And we have been receiving complaints on top of complaints on top of complaints. Now, it's a road that you can't get in on very easily. It's a road that you can't watch very easily. But luckily, we were able to make purchases of crystal meth from, I think it's Rusty Shane Ray.
Yep.
Okay. So Mr. Ray was currently out on some kind of bond during this point in time. It wasn't a big, extravaganza like it was today where we had to use the CERT team. But, some of the investigators, some of the ACE team guys went up there and made contact with him. Sure enough, inside his house, he possessed methamphetamine. He possessed, drug paraphernalia, other items that were indicative of use and possibly distribution.
Mm-hmm.
And those come from somebody sending in an email, somebody sending in a phone call, somebody sending in a text message, somebody, making a comment on Facebook. So we see those things.
Yes, we do.
Y'all are very reactive, and that's a good thing. The app makes it easy. Facebook makes it easy. Hey, I just want to give a shout. Jesse Hedrick, thanks for joining the comments. Mary, appreciate it, and thank you, and we appreciate the support. Jesse, if you go back a little bit, I think Dow sort of explains the death by distribution. So that's sort of in the show. Troy, we did have the news. We did have a shooting down off Midway Lake.
Yes.
Real quick, I know y'all are still doing the investigation, but I think that's one of the things I've been asked a lot about this week.
Right. So, this past Saturday, about 11 a.m., our deputies responded down to Nance Farm Road down in southern Iredell County in the Mooresville area. They received a 911 call about a subject that had been shot. This was like a makeshift firing range, a target range. It had been set up down there. So currently our detectives, our homicide team is still currently working this investigation to determine exactly what occurred there and what, if any, charges are going to come out of this. But we do know who the shooter was. They're fully cooperating with the investigation, so we're trying at this time.
And I think it's clear to say that it's. I mean, we hear firing range, but it was not an accidental shooting. We know it's not accidental.
Yeah, it was not an accidental shooting. So we don't know for sure if this was going to be an act of self-defense or if there was something more malicious going on there. But we're still digging into it and going to get to the bottom, get all the facts together, and proceed from there. So it is something that we're still actively investigating, so we can't give a whole lot of details just right now at this time, but I think we'll know more here pretty soon. So
well, hopefully, it's there again. It's tragic on everybody's part.
Absolutely.
It was one of those things, but we don't see that a lot, but it is something. That's one of those things. Usually we don't see an altercation at a firing range, and something like this happens. So
yeah.
Well, Dow, we've got about 2 more minutes in closing words. I want to throw out, listen, I don't care where you're at. If you have problems, especially as far as this and drugs or break-ins or any kind of information, reach out to us.
Why are you stealing my thunder?
Oh, is that what you? Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead. You do it. I want to make sure you're awake.
Yeah, no, I'm awake. I mean, but yeah, just like the sheriff said, hey, if you send something to us and you don't hear something back immediately, don't think that it's getting overlooked, okay?
Because, see, I get the emails too, so if y'all don't follow it, I'm asking y'all.
Well, he is, but, we prioritize, we get to them as quickly as we can. If you think that there's something going on and we don't discover anything, don't think that we're not looking or that we don't care. We do. So we look at every one of them. I got a separate folder that's got hundreds of them in there that come in. And a lot of the good cases that we make, a lot of the arrests and the roundups that you guys see that we do come from the tips, come from the direction of individuals that send us, hey, look, you need to look at this guy, that guy, this place, that place.
And, that's been hard to develop. I mean, for the public to have trust, hey, if I tell them something, are they going to follow up on it? And I think y'all have set a standard and a bar very high that people know that, hey, I get all the time, hey, y'all give y'all that information. You got it. Thank you so much. Our community. When we come down Douglas Street, people's out clapping hands when you do the search warrant.
When you were when in your shadow you saw wild
whatever. Yes, I just happened to be there. Now keep on. You heard what that girl said. Now,
hey, and I would like to apologize. Not really for the sheriff's office, but to the 2 families that have waited for these overdose deaths to come in. I want to say publicly on the radio, this was not our fault.
But you got it fixed.
But we got it fixed, and we're moving forward with it.
Hey, we want to wish everybody a happy Turkey Day.
Absolutely.
Holidays will be on. We may not be the best looking crew, but we sure try to talk a lot. If you need us, contact us, shoot us some messages, watch the videos, share it, and we'll see you back next Wednesday at 3 p.m.